Hello, it's Phil Thatch here, and today I'm very excited because I've got some new stuff to go along with my photography and video hobby. I've got this box right here and this box right here. Both of those I purchased from a place called Bedford's Camera and Video. I think they are in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, I believe is where they are based, and maybe they have a bunch of locations. I'm not really sure, but let's get into it. Plastic. Invoice. Peanuts. Peanuts. Okay, so inside the big box was a Nikon Z6. This is their new full frame mirrorless camera. It's the second one. The first one that they came out with was the Z7 high dollar, high megapixel full frame camera. This is virtually the same camera. It's just much less money and only 24 megapixels, which is plenty for me. Here's the manuals. Cardboard. Ooh. There it is. I knew it would be small, but it's surprising how small it is. Let's compare. Okay, so this is a D800. This is a full frame professional body. It's a couple of generations back. The D850 is the current version of this, but I've had this D800 since the D800 was the current version. It's a great camera. I have pretty much worn it out. I've taken thousands and thousands of exposures with it, but look how big it is. Full frame. So here is a D500. This is still the flagship Nikon APS-C crop sensor DX, however you want to call it, body, and it is fantastic, and I love it, and I still plan on using it quite a bit. But look at this. Remember, this is a small sensor, and this is a full frame sensor. Look at the size difference. So mirrorless cameras have kind of been coming into vogue lately. Of course, anything that's not a DSLR is a mirrorless. Your cell phone is a mirrorless camera, but this is kind of a different thing because it's a mirrorless camera that'll make a fantastic image. There's actually no mirror to reflect the light with a DSLR. Light comes in through here and is reflected by a mirror and comes up through here. And so you're actually looking through the viewfinder and actually seeing through the lens while you're making a photo. But with this, there's actually a second screen up here. So you're looking at a screen, and when you change the exposure, when you roll your shutter speed and your aperture up and down, you can see what you're going to make a picture of in terms of exposure before you press the shutter button. Sony's been doing really good with that for the last couple or 3 years, but I have a huge investment in lenses from Nikon, and these lenses I was planning on when I bought this 14 to 24 f2.8, and when I bought this 24 to 70 f2.8, and when I bought this 70 to 200 f2.8, I had every intention of keeping these lenses and a couple of 500mm lenses that I have forever. So that doesn't work with Sony. There are adapters for Sonys, but they don't work well with these. But plastic. All right, this is the FTZ mount adapter that mounts, goes in between an F-mount lens and a Z-mount camera. I wonder why in the world I would need such a thing. There is an adapter for this. This is a different mount. It uses a Z mount lens instead of an F mount lens. But this adapter, which I also got from Bedford's, this is the FTZ, they call it. I think they should have called it F2Z, but what do I know? You mount this end onto the Z7, and all of these fantastic lenses will hook right up and work pretty much as good as they will on a Nikon DSLR. So that's what I was looking for, and finally Nikon has joined the 21st century, for lack of a better word, and they are making mirrorless full frame cameras. This is the first video that's ever been made with my new Z6. I actually made it just right after the unboxing. All the unboxing stuff is still here on the table. And one of the reasons why I was really excited about the mirrorless camera is because they tend to focus better for video. Nikons are horrible about video autofocus, and up until I started to get into video only in the last year or so, before that didn't bother me at all because I was completely into stills. But now I kind of like to do video, and hopefully this new system will be better for video autofocus. If I was using any of my other cameras, my D500, my D800, my D7000, my D7100, D300S, any of those, I would be 100% out of focus right now. But I just popped on the FTZ and the 14-24, and I'm going to take a look at this in a moment and see if I'm in focus. Well, I gotta say, I am pretty excited. I just watched that video back. That's why I have these glasses on. I watched it back on the back of the camera, and it appears that this camera did keep me in focus the whole time, so that is fantastic. I'm very happy about that, and I'm going to leave it with you right here. In the future, I'll be doing wildlife videos with this camera, and all sorts of stuff, vlogging, who knows what all. I'm probably still going to use my D500 for sports and some wildlife, but we'll see. We'll see where this ends up in my lineup, whether I use it almost exclusively or still my D500. I'm not sure, but time will tell. Well, you cannot talk about the Z6 without saying that, hey, it's only got one card slot, but hey buddy, it's an XQD, and that's all I need. One is plenty for me. So that's the one gripe that you hear a lot about this camera. The other is it doesn't have a flip out screen so you can see yourself while you're doing a video. That is a legitimate gripe for me. I really, really, really wish this camera had a flip out screen. It does have a tilting screen, but that doesn't, you can't see yourself. So in order for me to see myself, I'm going to have to either add a monitor or do something. Fortunately, with this wide lens, I can easily get myself in the frame, but it'd be better if I could see where I was, so I could get rule of thirds right and that sort of thing. Anyway, those two things. You can't do a Z series video without mentioning single card slot and no flippy screen. Thanks for watching.